I'm ready to earn my life's work. Yeah. I'm ready to talk about church hurt. Anything you've been through it. I'm here to tell you that you can do it. Sit down with Pastor D and his team. They're here to help you reach your dreams. Emerge.
Right into. Good morning. God bless you, Emerge community. It's Dr. Davis. It is Thursday, and we have taken an absolute whole week off. And so now we're jumping back into things, and I'm excited today to come into our power conversation, to bring in an absolute genius and creative with today's topic, all gifts are not on stage. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to go all the way to Las Vegas to bring on Priscilla Fields, who is a creative in her own right in so many areas. She's also very prophetic, so don't let her fool you. But y'all, Emerge, help me welcome Priscilla Fields. Hey.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I have zero complaints. God is good.
All right. Well, we're on a little bit early today. So much is going on, but we're able to adjust. I'm excited that you're here to deal with this topic. All gifts are not on stage, and talk about some of the things that happen behind the scenes, because a lot of times what people don't realize is even the stage or the pulpit or, the theater, the gifting, everything has an immense amount of background work that takes place. And somebody has to be gifted and anointed to be able to handle that backstage and those gifts that may not even be in the building, but are helping to facilitate. People just think it's easy. You just get on stage and you make things happen.
There's a lot of planning.
Oh my God, so much goes into that. Can you just take us to the beginning? When did you know that your gifting was behind the scenes?
Well, I think I'm an introvert. I think others would beg to differ, but I'd rather be in the spotlight any day than I'd rather be behind the scenes than in the spotlight any day. I just don't like the attention. I don't need the titles, the accolades. Good, thank you, good job in the background is good enough for my ego stroke.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I think a lot of people are challenged with that because, being a believer, we're people or people persons, and our market and our product is people. And so being able to, acknowledge that you're being an introvert, a lot of creatives are introverted. They don't want to be, in the crowds and things like that.
Right.
But you have literally evolved into like a self-contained unit. I mean, don't worry, I'm gonna blow your trumpet because you have evolved not only into anointed ministry, but you have also allowed your gifting to become business for you. So let's talk about that transition a little bit, where you at one point decided, you know what, I probably should charge people for what I do.
Yeah. Well, I kind of stumbled into business on my own. It's funny because I was telling my husband not too long ago, as a young child, I would always say, I never want to own a business. I never want to own a business. It's too much work. I just want to clock in, clock out, collect my check and go home. And as I think about it, it was more a spiritual attack that I was speaking death onto business on myself, not even knowing it. Had I really allowed those thoughts to take root, I wouldn't be where I am today. Having that thought process. But yeah, as we our family grew, it really just made sense economically for me to stay home. I didn't want to go to work for hours on end just to give away my paycheck to daycare. And then still have to be away from my kids. So I said, there has to be another solution. And lo and behold, there was. And I started off small, just like any other business, and just gradually grew from there. And it became profitable. I was able to stay home with my kids and not have to worry about getting up at 4 or 5, 6 in the morning to get them to daycare and not see them until 6 o'clock at night. So it was really a blessing to come across, this stream of income.
You said something that was powerful, and I know somebody that may be watching or is going to watch this is dealing with what you said. You had to overcome a personal struggle, a mental personal struggle. And I think a lot of people, including myself, have to battle not only spirits, but your own mind. My God, to be able to come to the place to say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And we think about so much. We think about the reception of people. Are people going to, buy our product or frequent what we're doing? And we speak, you said it, we speak death over our own destiny, not understanding that there's life and death in the power of the tongue. And sometimes we're saying things that are literally killing our own vision.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that moment? I mean, if you can, as much as you can, take me there where, oh my God, you had to stop speaking negative over your own self and woman up and say, this is what God has for me.
It really came with practice, really just doing the thing. The more I did it and I was able to see that I was producing results, helpful results, that gave me confidence, that built my confidence. So I was able to, come to terms with that, hey, I really am providing a service that's worth, that's saving people time, that's helpful for them in their businesses, and it's worth charging. I'm worth, being paid to do X, Y, and Z because it in turn is taking up my time to do it.
Right. And scripture talks about, a man or a woman in this particular instance is worthy of their hire, right? That when we say your gifts make room for you, they're not always in an unpaid setting.
Right.
We look at ministry, and when we're able to do ministry at that capacity, it's a blessing. But in a business mindset, you still are doing ministry, but you're doing it in a different capacity through business. How do you balance that mindset where you don't give everything away?
How I don't give everything away. Well, you really can't give away enough. There's always so much content. There's always so much value out there. There's always someone that's doing the same exact thing that you're doing, and doing it better at times. So giving has never been hard. It's more so just overcoming the things that like I feared to get the job done. Like me and live videos, do not get along. Like internally, I'm just like shaking right now. But I overcome the hard things to get the content out there, and it's pushing me to be better by being in those uncomfortable positions. And it exposes me. It broadens my audience, my reach, to get even more potential clients and, teach others that, hey, if I could do it, you could do it too.
Right. And it's very crucial to understand that if you're going to do business in the fashion that God would design you to do, you are going to be challenged.
Oh, yeah.
That at some point, you're going to have to come out of your comfort zone and actually move in faith. That faith and business go together. It doesn't mean that you're making unwise decisions, but faith and business, they rock hand in hand. So, when we got to that place, now you overcome your personal struggles and say, okay, I do have something viable. I do have a price tag that I can put to this. I understand giving, so I'll never get away from sowing
Mhm.
in other people's lives. Uh, but I got to live and I got to feed my family. But it's not all about the check. It's about the end results.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about what we push out and how we actually develop other visions of people and what they're doing. And so now we're in this place now where backstage so much happens. Give us a little backdrop of what you do. In particular, and you can even express what you do for Emerge, because you're awesome and I can't say enough.
Well, I've dubbed myself a virtual administrator. I just help small businesses and entrepreneurs get organized at the core, set up processes, and I love automation because it saves time overall on both ends. So, as entrepreneurs, especially if you're just starting out, our time is limited. We can only do so much in 24 hours, especially if you have other responsibilities. You're a husband, you're a wife, you're a parent, you have another business. It's only so much time that can go to those places. So automation is key to
Right.
what I push towards my clients and having an effective process to get, that end result.
And I think it's very powerful because let's be real. We're not experts on everything, and I
Mhm.
know I'm not. And one of my strengths is to surround myself with people smarter than me.
Yeah. That's very
So
wise.
yeah, we got to accomplish what God has put before us. And I'd be crazy to think that it's going to be me
Mhm.
leading the charge. I'd
Yeah.
rather say it's me rocking with a team of
Mhm.
individuals to be able to manifest
Yeah.
what the Lord has placed in me as it relates to vision. And let's be honest, we think we're organized, but we're not. Uh,
No.
you know, our organization has to do with a filing system, which is a pile on the table, and I know where the papers are.
Yeah. Organized chaos is what I call
Or-
it.
Organized chaos, right?
Uh-huh.
I love it. And so to be able to, like you say, automate some of these processes so that it takes the workload off of people altogether. So it's
Mhm.
not that we just got somebody to do it for us. We got somebody to help us build processes and systems.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, there's
Yeah.
an anointing in processes and
It
systems.
is. It really is.
Number one, they help us with accountability.
Mhm. They
I'm
do.
just gonna pause and let that sit right there because I'm still adjusting.
You're doing fine.
Hallelujah!
You're
You've
doing
been graceful in your shade. You've been very graceful to let me know, hey, uh, you didn't do this.
fine. Mhm.
This is what we need to get done. But those processes and systems brings about accountability, and I think that's amazing.
Mhm.
Uh, how is it that God speaks to you in wisdom to be able to develop process and system?
Um, well, everything starts with prayer.
Yeah,
I really have to say that, and it's not to be super deep or anything, but having that connection really just to understand that, you didn't just come up with this brilliant idea. You're not just this genius, but God really did deposit that thought process into your mind to do ABC instead of, CBA. Um, so yeah, it starts with prayer. Just my character, personality, I just love research.
uh,
So me going to the internet and learning new platforms or systems, it comes easily to me, and that's not everybody's story. So I have learned to embrace that. It's a gifting,
yeah.
the gifting, and because it comes easily to me, I've just learned to embrace it and run with it, to know that I have client A, they're trying to figure out how to stop manually scheduling their appointments. These are the platforms I'm aware of. This is what would suit them. This is what wouldn't work. And really just kind of combine something custom for them. There are a lot of popular platforms and systems that are out there. If you talk to anyone who's in the industry, we'll probably list off the same top 5, but really just integrating them all together and being able to teach that to your client, how to use it. It takes a level of patience because there's a learning curve with all of them. But you get the job done just working and having that partnership with the client to understand, what it is that they're trying to get that end result.
You just hit another hot button for me, because in almost any situation where you have the creative as the developer and then the gifted person per se, or the visionary for that moment as the client. And what happens is a lot of times the developer works with a handful of systems and they try to shove those systems down every client's throat. I mean, even in singing with some producers, prophetic worshipers, prophetic praise and worshipers, you can't just send them a beat and say, write to this. You build around the gift. You hear the vision of that individual. You hear what's in their heart. And everybody might not be writers, but once you hear who they are, then you could develop around them. And what I'm hearing from you, that's the exact thing that you do. Try to hear an individual's vision and then create systems around them, see their strengths, see their weaknesses. And I have to admit, you've been stellar in dealing with emerge. I mean, some of my weaknesses I will admit, but others I'll be like,
Right.
You've been able, flat out, you've been able to discern what direction that I'm trying to go with this. And, you've seen that movie, A Beautiful Mind. That's how my brain is. It's all over the place.
Right.
And so you weren't supposed to agree. And so, to be able to take all that and literally encapsulate it into systems. Talk to me about that discernment that's working to be able to understand the gift and build around it.
Well, I've never met an entrepreneur or a business mind that just has, one singular focus. God's usually depositing multiple things into their thoughts all the time. So it's not just the one thing that they're working on that they're talking to you about.
Right.
If you talk long enough, they'll tell you 5, 6 different business plans all in a 30-minute conversation. So really just being
Go ahead.
Really, just being able to, pull that all apart. Everything can get done. It just can't all get done at the same time. Again, we all have limited resources, which is time. We can only do so much in a day. So just really being able to take that order or take those ideas and put order to them, put structure to it that, we can do, project A first and we can do project C, because even though you told me in C, it really goes in B. So, just putting order to that it makes sense that, okay, you want to write a book, you want to do a blog, you want to do a podcast, but do you have a website? So we got to take it back to square one with all of those ideas.
I think it's amazing how you're painting this picture for me about you see like the overall vision, which may be 12 different things, but you're able to put them in systematic order so that things can flow from the back office. You have an anointed photographer or an anointed speaker, but if their business is bad, and I don't want to get on us's right now, but we can be some of the worst people when it comes to etiquette and business ethics and follow through. And so to be able to establish that back end so that the front end runs smooth is very crucial. Callbacks or automatic emails.
Mhm.
When somebody emails you and you have that automation that goes back, that
Mhm.
that speaks volumes
Yeah.
to your business. It's almost
Yeah.
like church.
Mhm.
It's almost like church. It says, you prepared for me.
Mhm.
You prepared for me. And we shouldn't be, and the Bible tells us, don't be slowful in
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
But we want to bootleg the back office. We don't want to have, can you send me a copy of my invoice?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to find it. You know,
Yeah.
these are not things that you need to say in doing business. And so for you to be able to capture that and structure a back office so that as long as the front flows in the systems that you set up,
Mhm.
then they will look amazing.
Yeah.
And I commend you for how you do this because, uh, you know, you're
Yeah, I
prepared
tell, some of my
for
clients, like, I guess the newer clients, during that, like, decision phase, do you wanna work with me or don't you wanna work with me? It's usually because, the front end is working smoothly, but the back end is deteriorating. And that's what really crumbles a business faster than people realize because of those things like you mentioned. I sent you an email 4 days ago and you didn't respond. My invoice was due on the 4th, but I didn't get it till the 7th. So those things, they break down um the client experience. They don't feel like, you're on top of things, especially if you're dealing with things for their business. It's like, well, if this is how your business is structured, how can you help me? So the back end is so important. I know nobody really wants to do it because they want to focus on the vision of, preparing the lessons or whatever it is that the business does. But those back end admin style things are important to make the business run.
And you said it, that it will crumble. If the back
Mhm.
end is not there, that it will crumble. And a lot of times we're waiting on people to come be a part of our team to help us. But in all essence, if you can get a back office that's computer generated, that's
Mhm.
automated, that all you have to do is flow with it, you have some legs to stand on.
Yeah.
And too many folks have allowed their visions to crumble because they've been trying to build team instead of trying to build system.
Mhm.
I don't want to rag on us, I promise you, but the African American community has been behind in so many areas when it came to systems and structures that we will be consistent with. And it was the Anglo churches that literally taught me systems
Yeah.
and what to do as it relates to building systems for discipleship. We had the scriptures down,
Mhm.
theology down.
Yeah.
We baptize in the Holy Ghost, but a system to be able to experience that in a greater light is what I was missing. And
Yeah.
so you have literally helped us to understand that if we can automate the back office,
Mhm.
we can be successful. We
Yeah.
don't want to do these tasks.
No.
It is
Most
daunting.
people don't.
Oh
I
my
mean, just
God.
even the one thing too, it really not only is your business crumbling in the background, but you're stunting the growth, the potential growth, because we want this influx of clients, but you don't have anything in place prepared to take them on. So if you get the new client and they fall through the cracks, now you have a client that has paid you out to do a service, but you completely forgot about it. You missed their deadline because you didn't have a project management system set up. So those things, and I say this all the time, but my name is all that I have.
Right.
So if someone receives service from me and it's like, oh, I went to Priscilla to do X, Y, and Z and she didn't deliver, it's only a matter of time before that word travels in a bad way really, really fast. So you don't even want to take that risk of, damaging your name because again, it's all you have as an entrepreneur, as a business owner.
So where I'm going to try to land, I'm going to try to land. on money and the investment and how necessary it is. And I'm going to speak to it, but I really want you to kind of flow in this moment, because I'm challenged with individuals that don't want to make the investment in themselves across the board. You want to talk about something that frustrates me? Let's talk about a preacher that don't study. That's investment. Oh my God. You don't buy books. You won't, do anything to kind of help build your business or build yourself. And to be honest, I'm going to say this publicly, that Focus Business Solutions was probably one of the best investments that I've made in a long time, to be able to streamline what I'm doing and to make things a little bit easier. I don't want to set up an appointment for Zoom. I'm going to forget to do it, or I'll put it in my calendar, and then I'll forget to go set it up. Then my appointment comes and I'm scrambling. Look at here. When that thing is scheduled on the website and it generates, oh my God, generates automatically. And on the day, all I have to do is go and click on my calendar and my meeting is there and ready to go. That has entirely blessed my life. And it was one of the best investments that I made, worth every penny. And we've been talking about this. We always want the hookup from us, but we won't get the hookup from Walmart. We won't negotiate with Target, but we want to negotiate with us. And I'm really trying to help people understand. Number one, it's an investment in you, and I'm gonna hand it over to you. Number one, it's an investment to you, and number two, we ought to be investing in each other. Right.
I couldn't agree with you more. I dub myself also to be a forever student. I'm always learning, because there's always a new system coming out. There's always, updates to the current systems that I know. Even in, how I operate and run my business, there's always, some type of program. I actually just enrolled in one not too long ago. So, and that investment was, I think it was $3,000. So, and that's just to help me be a better business owner as I grow and as I build my team to assist me, because even as I have a service of helps to entrepreneurs and business owners, I can't do it all. I need to have help. So I hire, on my team to help me with that. And that's an investment that I make to say that, hey, you do this smaller task that I don't have to do. So that way I can do the task that you can't do. So that saves me time tremendously doing that. So the investment is crucial. Just realize that you can't do it all as much as you want to. You can lead it, but you can't do everything.
Can you just speak to somebody right now in the Holy Ghost and tell them that they are worth it?
Yeah.
That your business is worth it, that you as an individual are worth it. I mean, just because you had to overcome that. And so just speak to somebody that's watching.
Yeah, you're definitely worth it. You're 1,000% worth it. Another saying that I got from a friend of mine, I'm for the clients that can afford me. You can't afford me. I'm sorry, but there's an alternative. There's someone that's cheaper than me, but there's also someone that's more expensive than me. So I'm for the clients that can afford my services. You're worth it to charge whatever it is that you decide you want to charge for your services or your products. The beauty of being an entrepreneur is that you make the rules. There's no red tape. There's no committee that you have to go to. If you decide you want Monday to be your off day, Monday is your off day. So if you wanted to raise your prices another $20, you can raise your prices another $20. But when you do that, make sure that you're not just raising it just because you can, but that you're offering a quality service in the process too.
One of the conversations, the strong conversations that we've had, and I can share this one because it's not pertinent, but don't sell yourself short. that how you start, and a lot of times we make this mistake that we start off at one price thinking, okay, later, I'm going to raise it just so I can get my feet wet and get into business.
Yeah.
And businesses from gate kill themselves because they sold themselves short. They're not even making enough to be able to continue to break even, to do business. But they want to get there, like you say, all we have is our name. They want to get their name out there. But one of the things that I noted, and we'll try to land, because it just got good, right? Bentley does not have a commercial.
They don't need it.
They don't need it. And one thing, when you go to a Bentley dealership, you're not going to see a Bentley that says on sale, or half off,
clearance.
Because they don't lose their value. Their name has been consistent. If you go on that Bentley lot, that you will have to pay Bentley prices.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as a knockoff on a Bentley. And I think that we have to a lot of times come out of the Toyota Corolla mindset and step up to where God really has us, not in a sense of arrogance, but know your worth.
Yeah.
Do the research. What are other folks in my area and surrounding? Just like gas wars, they stay competitive between a penny or two. Do the research, know your worth, and don't sell yourself short. Yeah. In closing, how did you overcome that? Okay, I'm worth more than that, and okay, maybe I'm just not the person for you because you can't afford me. How did you mentally overcome that? Because being a spiritual believer, again, we got that, let me just bless you mindset.
Donate my time.
Right.
For the Lord. No. Everybody has to eat. Everybody has bills to pay is the bottom line. So we have to use those gifts to our advantage. I had to get over that, really just surrounding myself with a peer group that understood where I was trying to go. And they helped me to stay in the right mind frame of that this is a business. This isn't volunteer work. This is business. I love you, but here's your invoice. I love you, but here's your invoice. So the people I surrounded myself with, it helped a lot. And I'm thankful for it because prior to administration, another natural gift of mine was doing hair, and I was braiding in a salon. But I entered that line of business wrong because I sold myself short. Something that I really, really loved to do, I started to hate because I couldn't make my booth rent, and I had a baby in diapers. So make sure you price yourself in a place that I don't even want to say that's comfortable for your client, but it's comfortable for the client that you're seeking.
Right.
But that you're getting something in return where you still feel valued, because otherwise that thing that you said that you love, I guarantee you're going to start to hate it.
Here's a question that has come up. It's fine to donate your time to start off, right? You want to address that?
It's yes and no. You have to be aware of the person that you're dealing with, because people will suck you dry. They really will, if you let them. And when you start off, oh, well, I'll do this $50 gig for only $10, they're going to always expect that, So once you do get to, hey, let me charge you $50, which is my regular rate anyway, people have an attitude about that. And the scary thing on the business side of things, as the owner, you get those thoughts come about that, oh, if I raise my prices, I'm going to lose all of my clients. That may be true, but is it worth it, more so even in the short and in the long run, to gain the client that you really want to work with anyway? Because you're going to have more peace of mind. They're going to understand really the language that you're speaking. They'll understand your value more, as opposed to coming to you for the $10 deal, giving it to you last minute all the time, expecting miracles, with
right.
two gigs. I've learned that people respond better to higher prices. Don't understand the psychology behind it, but it's true. People would rather pay a specialist than a generalist because you being a jack of all trades, it works for a little bit. It does. But at some point, you want to niche down and say, I'm Priscilla. I'm a specialist in Dubsado, not I'm just a general all around assistant, which is the task that I do. But my specialty is in Dubsado. So people would rather pay that higher ticket to say that if I go to Priscilla, I know that she can get this task done because that's what I need. You can find anybody to do internet research or data entry or whatever the case is. And those clients usually come just based on relationship to do those, lower level admin type tasks. But the specialty, that's what people would rather pay high ticket for. So become a specialist.
Exactly. And I think one of the things that we have to look at as well is one of the most powerful advertising pieces is word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you gave me a hookup, guess what my advertisement is going to be? Go to P. Go to P. She going to plug you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she going to plug you, but at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're one of the fortunate people to get a hookup, then you need to keep that to yourself.
Be quiet.
Right? You can't allow everybody to get your pricing because once everybody gets your pricing, then it's not a hookup anymore.
Yeah, and shame on the friends that do it because I've come across it before. I've had business friends that said the same thing, like I gave them such and such discount. Now they told the whole company, and now they're calling looking for that price and they can't get it.
Right.
So it's unfortunate. And one of the people that I come in with standing firm on pricing is my husband. He started off maybe like a year ago.
He is.
Hey. He started off maybe a year ago doing photography, and then it evolved into videography. But we've taken a nice chunk of change to invest in equipment and to invest in his courses, for his mentorship. So it will be really easy for him to say, hey, it's $50. Here's your photo shoot. But he doesn't want to be known for the $50, photographer. So it's just stick to your guns. And God has been blessing. Honestly, he really has. His clients come, the opportunities come as they will, instead of having this massive volume of all of these people that aren't your ideal client. That's what you want to get to, is to your ideal client. They understand your business. They understand your worth. Even if you decide that, hey, I've reached a point, plateau, and now I need to raise my pricing, they'll stick with you because they've had such a great client experience. You built that relationship. So your pricing is know your worth. Know your worth.
And here's another piece. Coupons expire.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we miss that because you'll give a verbal hookup with no expiration date. And so you went on, and now your business has evolved, and you still on a 2-year-old coupon that should have expired 90 days from the date that we put it out. And you gave an amazing example when the photographer, your husband or you all show up to do a shoot. I don't think people are really taking into consideration that you're showing up with about $2,500 worth of equipment for your $50 shoot.
Yeah, that's on a very low minimum. One of the cameras, oh Jesus. Yeah, one of the cameras he just got was $4,000, and it's like it's an investment.
Exactly.
And the more that you invest, the more you're entitled really to raise your pricing.
Exactly. And there are some situations where you sold, but if you think about it, like you said, you're calling for a specialist. You're not calling for your cousin to come and hook you up. Gregory James, he said more like 50K. And that's not for real. I mean, you're showing up with this 4K equipment, the little ninja boxes and all this other stuff. No, I'm hip. He didn't school me.
Right.
And this stuff is expensive, and you want that $50 shoot, and that's not realistic. you called a professional to come and deliver a professional product, and it's worth paying for. It's worth getting the good lighting. It's worth getting the good sound. It's worth all that. And in your particular instance, and Focus Business Solutions, you know, it's worth the systems that are in the background to be able to help automate it so that, you know, you look good, you represent good, you don't look like the shade tree mechanic that show up to fix your car on a 10 speed with the tools and a milk crate, with a cigarette hanging out his mouth. Oh, I've been doing this a long time. You know, your presentation looks good. And I'm going to use this word because I want to bless somebody. We don't look ghetto, right?
That's a good one. You don't have to. You really don't, because there's so many tools out there that can help you really have a very professional presentation. The platform that I was talking about, Dubsado, was $35 a month. $35 a month to automate your calendar, to automate your invoices, to automate your contracts being sent out in emails. Like, why? It's $35. Like, you should literally make that money back within 30 days.
Like your first client. And I think that's all part of doing business. And we went way over, right? But we're going to try to land here. I think that's part of doing business, is to understand how to navigate through systems and people. Right? We want to do business, but we don't want to do the work that it takes to be able to own your own business and continue it and make it flourish. Just because you're from a certain zip code don't mean you got to look like you came from that zip code. My mama, she always taught me, son, even if you broke, you look like $1 million. You keep your clothes clean. You keep your hygiene on point. You look people in the eye. You shake their hand. You know, your presentation does not have to be your zip code. Because honestly, you know, we want to help those zip codes, but when we get blessed, we get out of those zip codes, and hopefully you'll go back and bless it. But understanding that you have to have presentation, and just because you know me does not mean that I don't want the professional presentation, just like any other client.
Exactly.
I found it's easier to do business with people that don't know you than it is people that know you. Is scriptural, prophet, honor, saving his own home, you know. But we still want to work with our villages. We want to help people, but understand you're not always going to get the holy hookup. Pay full price to Black-owned businesses. Sound man, turn me up, please. I need somebody to put that in the comment. Pay full price for Black-owned businesses. Because if you were a business owner, you would want people to pay full price as well. And I'm worth it.
Yeah, you're worth it. That's the bottom line, is to understand that, you know, the price that you come to, making a price list and putting prices on your products or services, that's hard enough mentally. And then to present it to somebody and say, oh, it's that much? Like, it's a slap in the face to the business owner to try to talk them down on their pricing. It's insulting, really it is, because the next person who's charging the same price, if not higher, you'll go and pay that.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. Give the last word to some young creative who has an idea, they're a business owner, or they're inspiring to be a business owner, and they're trying to come over that mental challenge at this moment. Can you just give the final words and prophetically speak to them and encourage them to go forward?
If God gave you the idea, he's going to provide the resources really for you to make it happen. You just have to put that vision into action so that he can do the rest of the work. You just start. No matter how scared you are, just start. find someone that can, take you under your wing, or, get in some Facebook groups. Those have been really helpful for me too. And ask those who are doing what you're doing. Podcasts are a great resource, but the key thing is to just start.
Right. We gotta quit. There's one more question, and we're gonna get it out. And I promise you, we're gonna log off. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. It's pretty big. Is there a such thing as creating something that is more towards helping people that should only be used for ministry than a product for sale? How do you decipher if your product should be for sale or just for the ministry? It totally makes sense.
Yeah.
It totally makes sense.
Before I started my business, I was donating my time for ministry, which is completely fine. But once it started to overtake, my personal life, I had to put boundaries to it. I shouldn't have ministry work when it's bath time for the little ones, trying to meet, last minute deadlines. You have to have boundaries when it comes to ministry. And when it comes to doing things, yes, please get a coach. That was the best thing that I could have ever done, was to get a coach. And again, that's someone that has been or is doing the thing that you want to do. They can give you really the shortcuts to get to that place because they've done it before. But it took them 3 and 4 years. They're going to help you do it in 6 months. So if you don't understand the investment in that, I really don't know what else to say.
Right.
You're getting a jump start to where they've been, to get to where they are and where they're going. But to put a final note on the question, doing something for ministry, make sure it's God-led.
Right.
People they will suck you dry. They will suck you dry. So know the boundary.
Know the boundaries. And that takes us to right where we need to be, is to point you to Emerge Live Network, Emerge Live Network, emergelive.network. You can go there and schedule your free 15-minute consultation so that we can kind of see where you are naturally, spiritually, do a little discerning and connect you with the proper coach so that you can go back to your local church or your business or whatever and just absolutely flourish. And again, go to emergelive.network and we'll be able to plug you. Sign up for your 15-minute consultation and we will take care of you. Priscilla, it's been absolutely phenomenal chatting with you. Thank you. You're behind the scenes person. And I'm just grateful for you coming behind the camera and getting in front of the camera on today. How can people get a hold of you? Because, like I said, I wanted to be selfish and not tell anybody so that you don't get so busy. But I've already prophesied that you're hiring people pretty soon. You're probably going to need a bigger structure to be able to house everything that you're doing. How can people get a hold of you to be able to obtain your services?
You can visit my website, Focus VBS. That's for Virtual Business Solutions. So focusvbs.com.
Okay. Say it one more time. Focus
VBS, Victor Bravo Sam.
All right.
Yeah. You can also find me on Facebook too, at the same, Focus Virtual Business Solutions.
Listen, if you need your back office taken care of, you need solutions to help you. You're not organized. Just be honest. Get over that cultural default that says we won't ask for help. And let's get the help that we need. You're not saying you're weak because you need help. I have a PhD in psychology and education, but I'm smart enough to know that I'm not smart as I think I am, and that I need smart people around me. Even if I can do it, doesn't mean that I should be doing it.
Exactly.
And so I have to put people around me to be able to help this machine so that we can help as many people as possible go forward.
Mhm.
Pete, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Join us tomorrow as we have a conversation with Superintendent Nate Green. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Am I gifted or am I just crazy? Where do I belong? Y'all want to tune in. It's going to be a powerful discussion. Don't miss it. We love you all. Listen, it's been a pleasure. Please tell your husband I'm praying for him, and we speak blessings over all of your businesses. Focus Business Solutions. I got to get this shine back for the photography and film and all that you all do. Just an amazing power couple.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you all. You all be blessed.